Hello, and welcome to the channel. Hello to those that have already been and are subscribing, and hello if you have stumbled across the channel for the first time. As promised on previous videos, the top 25 most valuable albums in my collection. This is as of June 2024, based on the medium value on Discogs. For those that don't know what Discogs is, online database where you can put your records, CDs in, and it will return in the statistics lowest price sold, highest price sold, and the medium price sold. So this is based on the medium, because obviously the highest price sold can be a bit distorted, never quite trust it. The lowest again can have all kinds of reasons. So I assume this is based on average condition of you would think very good to mint maybe. So quite interesting this when you analyse it, and at the end I'll kind of give you some thoughts on if you were looking to collect records to make money, this might give you a tip of where to channel your energies and what's not where you'd think actually. And similarly, I don't ever buy records to make money on. I buy them to listen to, and it's highly unusual for me to ever sell anything on. It tends to be if I've got duplicates. That's the only time I really let something go, and 9 times out of 10 that's because somebody somewhere has sent me 2 copies of something when they should have only sent me 1, so I might then pass that one on. If I ever get rid of records, it's normally because I'm trading them in for more records. So I'm not really a seller of records. So but yeah, as I say, interesting. I have promised this before. The previous video I did along these lines was after record store day, to kind of demonstrate you don't have to spend an awful lot of money to enjoy vinyl records. And with these, 9 times out of 10 there's an alternative to these, but 1 or 2 of these, this is the only way to get them, and they are now commanding high values. So I bought the bulk of my records in the 80s. I had a bit of a gap in the 90s when the CD era was around, and started buying again in the early 2000s around the second record store day, and that's where a lot of these will come from. So as I say, I collect for enjoyment, not to make money, and that's the best thing you could do really. But let's have a look at what's in the mix then. So this one, David Bowie, is at the 25th most valuable album. There are going to be 26 albums I'll show you, but one is in there twice. So it's 25 albums, but there's one that makes 2 variations. So why is this one valuable? So it's 2019. It's not an original. It's David Bowie's second album, confusingly called David Bowie, just like his first album was also called David Bowie. And in America, I think it was called Man of Words, Man of Music. Obviously very famous because it's got Space Oddity as the opening track. This is the Tony Visconti mix, but if you look on that little sticker on the bottom, that's what makes this one valuable, because this is the designer Paul Smith, who worked with David Bowie when he was alive, has done a couple of kind of exclusive Bowie things, and this is one of them. So I'll show you that, because I think this is personally an absolute work of art and one of my favourite records in my collection. So this is the Paul Smith splatter vinyl, and I think when it was kind of advertised, it was designed to reflect David Bowie's eye. I think that was the whole point of that one. But yeah, so that one of 3,000 issued, would set you back now on average £114. I wouldn't part with that for the world. It's one of my absolute favourite bits of vinyl. So yeah, so next up, this is again a fairly recent album from 2008, and this is The Cure at the moment's last studio album, and yeah, this one is now going for, believe it or not, £117, purely because it's been issued once and not again. He is gradually reissuing his catalogue, old Robin Smith. At the moment, I think he's up to Paris, which has just come out on black vinyl. He's got a horrible habit of sticking things out on picture disc first, record store day. I just wish he'd get them out on black vinyl. Yeah, so that one, £117. Now the next one is slightly more, £118. And this is interesting because this is from 2017, so it's only 7 years old. It's not an original, it's a reissue. This is an Iron Maiden album with their third singer, Blaze Bayley. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan, but I have to say this album and the one that followed it would be my least favourite albums of theirs. For me, it didn't quite work with this singer, but they kind of went away from the traditional artwork with a more kind of puppety type of thing. But I cannot fathom this was £30 not that long ago off Amazon. They reissued all of the catalogue on black vinyl. £118 this one's going for now. So I can only assume because it's unlikely to be reissued maybe ever again. I don't know. Yeah, but that one's going up and up in value. Next up, so this is a kind of record I thought would feature more heavily in this top 25. So this is from 1968. This is the oldest album in this rundown, and the records that I'm going to show you go from 1968 up to 2023. There's one in there that's literally from last year that's already now well over the 100 mark. So this is at the moment the average value of this one is £123. So 1968, it's the Beatles and the White Album, and that's a numbered one. And they were all numbered in the original run of stereo, and this one is a mono. It's intact, so it's got all the gubbins inside, which is 4 postcards, a fold-out poster which has got pictures and the lyrics on, and it's got the original black inners. So I have put some new inners in there to kind of give the old ones a well-deserved rest. So that one, £123. I didn't pay anywhere near that. A few years back, just started when I was out and about, and via eBay just looking for UK monos. I've got the mono box set, but I wanted the original ones. I've got the stereos from 70s pressing, and I thought I'd try and get the 60s monos complete, which I managed to do. I paid about £50 for that, which I think actually is looking now like a good deal. £123 now. One of my favourite albums of all time. So that's the Fabs. Number 22, into the 90s. Now, for those that are looking at collecting vinyl, one growth area, if you spot 90s pressings, they tend to go for more and more and more money, but unfortunately they are also normally quite expensive to begin with. So I bought this one, and I didn't pay a lot. I paid, I think, 30, maybe 20 to 30. It's on orange vinyl, and this is currently now going at 125, and that is Guns N' Roses' Spaghetti Incident. This is their covers album that followed the Use Your Illusion from 1993, and that's now going at 125. Not a bad album actually. What was it? Ain't It Fun? That's a great subversion on that. But yeah, that's going at 125. So now. So this next one is the album that's going to show up twice. So it's technically number 20 on this, but there's 2 versions of this. So a more modern artist, and it's the exact same record, but in 2 different versions. The first one goes for 126, the second version goes for 132. So fairly similar, going from 2019, so not that long ago. This is one of my absolute favourite artists of more recent times. So we are talking Lana Del Rey, and this album is NFR, or Norman Effin Rockwell. And what's different about this one? Well, this particular version is a Urban Outfitters exclusive on pink vinyl. Now, I just wandered into the shop. I was out shopping with Mrs. N, and she was looking at the clothes. I know that Urban Outfitters stock vinyl, so I'll have a wander up and see if they've got anything of interest. Spotted that one, and I think there was a deal on, because I wasn't a new customer, gave him my email address and got something like 20% off, so it didn't cost me a lot. But that one now is going for £126. The next version, exactly the same album, different cover. Yeah, that guy there is Jack Nicholson. Nicholson, is it the actor? I always get the golfer and the actor the wrong way around. Nicholson, that's it, near The Shining. Yeah, so Norman F. Finn Rockwell. That one's on blue vinyl, and that was direct from the artist's website, and that one there is 132. And you may, as you carry on watching this, start to see a trend emerge. But yeah, next up we have another 90s. So one of my favourite bands of the 90s, well, the 80s actually. This is their 90s album called The Cult. This now is going for about 137 again. Didn't pay anywhere near that. Might have been about 30 quid. Up until very, very recently, this was a one-time vinyl press. Just been reissued on coloured vinyl. Be interested to see if this drops the value in years to come. But The Cult from 1994, bit like the Guns N' Roses one, wasn't pressed in massive things, wasn't a big seller either. So this one now is 137 as an original press. I think there's only one Cult album I'm after on vinyl, which they haven't actually, it's never been issued. So Beyond Good and Evil. So if somebody out there could arrange that, that'd be very kind of you. Next one's a very apt that I'm showing my Beatles coffee mug here, because the next one is the Beatles, and this is the second album of theirs on the list. So for those in the know, Let It Be Naked. Now, I could have bought this several times for 20 to 30 quid, and maybe even lower, because I don't, again, this came out in 2003. I don't think it sold particularly well, and for a time it went for silly money. It came with a free 7-inch, which is one of the most useless bits of vinyl known to man, because it literally has bits of conversation for 20 minutes. The CD had a bonus disc as well. Don't know why they put that in there. I'd much rather have had a proper second album with some more music on. So Let It Be Naked. It comes with a nice book. Now, I spent a long time trying to get all of that, because I bitterly regretted not buying it. Here's the big book. So yeah, you get a nice fancy book. And I realised that was only going to go up and up in value once the Let It Be box set was issued, and there was no sign of that record or a version of that record in it. And I don't think that will ever get reissued. I think it's a Paul McCartney vanity kind of press and project, and I think it's a one-off thing. I doubt if that'll ever see the light of day again. Now, obviously, the CD of that's cheap as chips. And vinyl, again, 2003, before the big vinyl revival, they didn't make masses of them. It was everywhere, and then it was nowhere. And it's 20 years on now, and its price is going up and up and up. Average value, that's 141. If you'd have bought it back in the day, it would have been $16.99, if only. And I think that's just going to skyrocket forevermore. What I did with that, I spent ages trying to get a copy, and whenever they came on eBay, I had a ceiling bid. I always just put the same bid in, and I think for about a year, never got anywhere near it. And one weekend, there were 3 copies all coming up on a Sunday night within a few hours of each other. But the same bid on the first one didn't win, same bid on the second one didn't win, and the third one, it won, because I think everyone had, and I was very pleased with that, because it is pretty much mint, and it does sound wonderful. But yeah, £141 for that one. This is the 17th album, £141. Another 90s one. This is Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, and again, it's the one and only issue of this. So it's 20 years old now. Well, crikey, 30 years old now. And it's never had a vinyl reissue since, hence it goes for £141 now. Good album, this. This is their well, they call it unleaded, but it was the unplugged, wasn't it? But actually, it's not unplugged. It's got an orchestra, it's got all kinds of things going on. But a good album. No quarter. The other Page and Plant album, which is the studio version they did after the album that they did after this, goes for Walking into Clarkstown. It goes for silly, even more money. But I haven't managed to get a copy of that. I got this when I bought it for about 40 quid, and I was very lucky that I'd arranged to pick something up from one of my local shops that they'd advertised on Facebook. And when I did a bit of research, I had some doubts as to whether it was a counterfeit or like a bootleg version of it at the time, hard to get album. So when I got there, I said, do you mind if I have a look at that before I hand over my cash? And as I suspected, and the shop didn't realise that it wasn't, it was not an original press, it was a counterfeit. So they very kindly said, well, you know, we won't hold you to that one. But whilst I was there, she said, well, if there's anything else you're interested in, they let me have this for the same price as that other one. So I think she took a tenner off. So I got that for 40 quid. Great album. So number 16, second appearance on the list for the Mighty Maiden. So this is from 1992. So again, the trend of 90s albums. This would cost you £142. I got that for about 30-40 quid from a shop that I've only been to twice. I probably won't go back because it's a shop that has great stuff, but it's utter carnage in there. There's stuff piled up here, there and everywhere. No prices on anything, and when you kind of get the stuff out, oh, I'll have that one please, you can see him kind of thinking, how much shall I charge this person for this? So I don't know if he does mates rates for regulars or what, but wasn't too bad. But there was a big box of stuff alongside this that's like a big metal collection that somebody dropped off, so I was pleased to get this. That one would set you back £142. Now it has been reissued, but as you saw earlier, the reissues are going for silly money. But this is a UK original by one of my fave bands, the Mighty Iron Maiden. Not their best album, but goes for silly money, £142. Number 15. So the second appearance, I think, on this list for this artist. Now I have to be careful with this one. So this is from the artist website. So I'm going to kind of just cover offending article. So this is Lana Del Rey's latest album. This is the newest album on my list. I can show you the back. From 2023, so it was only last year. So again, I tend to buy her stuff via a website because it tends to be something different. Now this one certainly was, because the front cover has a well, certainly one naked breast and almost two. So I don't quite know why she did that. So but anyhow, Lana decided to get a kit off on that one. There's the gatefold, and this one now is going already for £147. It's black vinyl, and I suspect it's going up in value just because of that sleeve, which I almost don't want to get banned by YouTube. But yeah, so 147 quid for Lana. That was a £35-ish, I think, from the website last year. Gone nuts. So number 14. Well, 14. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. U2 Songs of Innocence, which is this version. So this is the Record Store Day version, and that's numbered. I don't know if the camera will make that out for you. So number 4479 of 5000. So this is the only Record Store Day album in this list. So which I was quite surprised at. So is buying stuff on Record Store Day a way to make money on vinyl? On the evidence I'm looking at, no, because I've bought over the years, I've done every Record Store Day since the second one. I missed the first one, done them all since the second one, and I bought anything from 10 to 5 albums every time, sometimes more. But this one goes for 147. And ironically, it's a Record Store Day release that I had to get via Amazon from a record store in Ireland, because I couldn't get any of these in the UK when I tried to, when it was the Record Store Day. I think the shop I went to had some delivered, but they'd been all damaged, and they'd had to send them all back. They were unsellable. So I managed about a week after Record Store Day. At that time, the shops didn't put them online straight away like they do now, and scouring Amazon Marketplace, up it popped, cost price, that's now worth £147 as well, and that's a much better version than the version that the band released on white vinyl, which had a rubbish cover. I think that kind of bootleg album serves it better. This is the infamous album that they downloaded onto everyone's iPod, which hasn't done them any favours, has it? It comes with a second disc of acoustic versions and B-sides, well, not B-sides, acoustic sessions and outtakes and alternate versions. So not a bad album. Massively frustrated by U2 at the moment. I'll do another video on YouTube, but big fan of theirs, but they are struggling, aren't they? Number 13. So this is really interesting. So I got this just after it came out. I bought 3 albums by this band all at the same time, and I think they were about 15 quid each. And this one is now worth £154. So this is Rush, black vinyl, straightforward reissue, and came out in 2016, and just goes for silly money now. This was, I think they'd had a bit of a break for Neil Peart, had some pretty bad family tragedies, hadn't they? And they had a break, came back, and I had a friend at work who, his first concert was a bit younger than me, he'd been to Sea Rush, and he absolutely raved about this album, and he lent me the CD. So and I hadn't bought a new Rush album for quite some time at that point, and it's a really good album, this. But 154 quid, I got it for 15, and again, the reason for that is just scarcity. This was, I think it's, if not its first vinyl issue, certainly it's only its second, and it just goes for daft money now. But yeah, that's that one. Yeah, anyhow, where are we? Number 12. Now this one I did get via eBay for about 40 quid. It's now going for 155. 1997. Love Him or Loathe Him, Morrissey and Maladjusted. He had a massive break after this album. It does, in his description, if you read his autobiography, he doesn't pull his punches on his own work, and he compared that cover to him having a dump on on his career. It's actually not a bad album. He reissued it on CD, and the 6 songs that came out on the singles from this album are really high quality, and he bizarrely, and I might have to do another video on the bizarre world of Morrissey reissues, but when he redid the CD, put a much better cover together for it. He took some of the album tracks off, put the B-sides on, so again, managed to mess it up, but there you go. But Maladjusted, that one will cost you £155 now if you've spotted that in the wild. He did it on the Island label. So yeah, so the Mozza. Number 11, so we just talked about them. Rush, again, 90s album that was reissued in 2015. 3 sides, 4th side is etched. This now goes for 162 quid, and again, just scarcity. One-time reissue. This might have been its only vinyl issue at the time. Job lot, they were selling this off. I bought 3 Rush albums altogether, and all 3 are in this top 25, so that surprised me. Goes for bonkers money. Counterparts. Into the top 10, and a bit of shoegaze. So this is one of my favourite bands of their era. So this is Ride. It's hard to pick this up, but it's kind of an embossed cover. This is Nowhere, and it's a numbered edition, and this is a reissue again. So there is a trend here from the artist's website from 2015, and what's nice about this is kind of a white marbled and blue splatter, and that one would now go for £166. So again, bought it new, not that long ago, and going now for silly money. Number 9. Rush, again, this is their 3rd album in this top 25. Test for Echo, a 90s album reissued in 2015, and basically 3 sides, 1 disc etched, and Test for Echo. That would set you back 170 quid. Again, I think I got all those Rush albums for 15 quid. Number 8. Did a video on these. One of the bands of all time, aren't they, in the UK? So I bought this from the artist's website. I didn't realise at the time it was limited to 1,000 copies. So this is The Jam, live at Brighton 1979. Great gatefold there, on the Setting Suns tour. So this concert's on the CD in the Setting Suns deluxe box set, but that's the vinyl version. I had no idea when I bought it. 2014, artist website, 30 quid I think, now going for £172. Number 7 on the list is back. This was the comeback album, You Are the Quarry. So at this, as time of writing, the one and only vinyl reissue, so all of them were numbered. This is now going for £183 on the Attack Records. So I have got all the Morrissey studio albums on original vinyl and reissue. apart from the 2 live albums, and one is being reissued shortly, and he's changed the cover, hasn't he, bless him. So yeah, so anyhow, number 6, second appearance by this band, The Cure. So this is self-titled from 2004. This is going for £188 on average. Don't get it, could go for more. These are average prices. Again, I bought that for about 15 quid online when it, you know, didn't do particularly well. But yeah, one and only reissue issue. So yeah, number 6, £188. Top 5. So he's back. You can't keep him away. You can't get rid of him. So Morrissey. If he does reissue it, he'll probably change the cover. For some strange reason, he started putting boxes on his albums around this time. So on the RCA label. Now, I did get this from a record fair, and there is one reason my copy might not be worth as much as this, because if you look at that little sticker, it says includes post limited edition booklet, which is basically it's a fold out thing. It says poster on one side and picture of Morrissey on the other side. So it's not a particularly great thing, but I haven't got the poster. It's missing on this. So because of that, when I spotted it at the record fair, I said to the vendor, "Oh, it's missing the poster." Blah, blah. So instead of paying, I don't know, 60 quid, he let me have it for 40. That now is going for £189 if you've got the poster. I don't know what it's worth without it, but again, the one and only studio release of this album, the only vinyl pressing to date from 1995. So again, those 90s albums do go up in big value. Crikey, I've got to watch this stack doesn't fall and crush me. Right, 1970s, but this is a 2020 reissue of Goat's Head Soup. But what makes this one valuable is the number 9 Carnaby Street version, and if you can see there, red vinyl. So what the Stones do on they've got a pop-up store in Carnaby Street, or it might be a permanent store, I don't know, but they've been, when they reissue their albums, they tend to do a limited version on this red vinyl with this kind of thing that goes over the top of them. So that now is going for 206, and again, just right place, right time. Somebody put a link on a forum somewhere. I ordered it, and 30 quid record's now worth 206. So yeah, the Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup, great album. And that is a different mix. That's like the Giles Martin mix from 2020. And top 3. Can't keep a good woman down, so she's back. Lana Del Rey. So you'll see a theme now. Lana Del Rey vinyl. This one. From 2015, going for 2017, £212. This again from the website, and this is just I think it might have a slightly different sleeve to the original, to the normal, and it has, and its selling point, it's on this Coke kind of coloured vinyl. But Lana Del Rey vinyl, probably a little bit like Taylor Swift, is going for big bucks, because number 2 is, you've guessed it, Lana Del Rey again with Honeymoon. So again, this one, I think it's got an alternate cover, and it also has the distinction of being on red vinyl. So Lana stuff goes for silly money, and she is the most popular artist in my top 25. So it just shows you it's not the old stuff that goes for the most. So we're at number 1, and I like a bit of symmetry, so I'm delighted that my number 1 album is by also the person who was the 25 album. So it is the Bowie. So again, this is very, very sad. Bowie, I apologise if I say it wrong. 2016. This is a hard album for me to listen to, because I bought this on his website the night before he died. I knew he'd got a new album coming out. I was umming and ahhing where to order it from, and I popped onto the Bowie website on the Sunday, and there were a few of these left. It's on the reason this one's valuable, it's on clear vinyl. Again, there were only 5,000 copies worldwide. I managed to get one just before he passed away. I obviously, you know, didn't know. And on the day that he passed, I got the email saying this had been dispatched on the same morning that about half an hour later the news broke that he'd passed away. So a wonderful record, but one that I really, even now, find it hard to listen to. But this one would set you back on clear vinyl, £234. The final album by one of the all-time greats. Yeah, there you go. So that's the top 25. So I'll put the stats in the comments because I've just noticed we're at 30 minutes. But the overriding way to make money on vinyl is probably to buy from the artist websites, because that's where 9 of the top 25 have come from. Only 1 from Record Store Day. So, you know, Record Store Day releases are not guaranteed to increase in value. But if you go buy direct from the artist website, particularly if it's some kind of exclusive format, you'll probably make money. So thank you for watching. So it's a little bit longer than normal. I had to get through 26 albums there, but number 1, I might do another video on vinyl box sets or maybe CD box sets. But thank you for watching, and yeah, there you go, top 25. See you on the next one.